On trade. Now, divisions have emerged between the U.S. and its allies at a flagship international summit on energy security. Speakers, of course, outlined a vision to include renewable fuels in the shift to a sustainable energy future, but Washington's representative repeated the Trump administration's opposition to restricting energy sources in the pursuit of net zero emissions. Well, I'm delighted now to be joined by Leila Benali, Morocco's Minister of Energy Transition and Sustainable Development, who was at the event, who was, of course, co-hosted by the IEA and the UK government that I also helped to chair. So thank you so much, Minister, for joining us. First of all, what's the scale of investment that you see for renewable energy in Morocco going forward?
Well, thanks, Francine, for the invitation. In Morocco, we're still pushing ahead with our energy investments, including the renewable energy. It's a key pillar of our energy strategies, and we are seeing that today you have more than 70% of global trade that's GDP dependent. Compared to less than 5% in the 70s. So the whole issue around energy security is being redefined. For us, our energy strategy since 2009 has been stable and the same. Renewable energy, key pillar of our strategy, more than 52% of our target that we will reach in 2026, much earlier than 2030. That's roughly plus 15 gigawatts of renewables that we will add, roughly $12 billion of investment between now and 2030, 80% of it in renewables. Second key pillar is energy efficiency. And third key pillar is regional integration. Whenever stubbornly pushing for energy integration and cooperation when there's someone on the other side.
And Minister, at the same time, does it actually go with plans to phase out coal?
Yes, absolutely. No, absolutely. Because the thing is, Morocco is a net fossil fuel importer. And if it means, if all the, I would say, the trade tariffs that is happening today it means something. It means that if Morocco has to be the last man standing, investing in renewables, pushing away from fossil fuels, well, then it's music to my ears, because it means that we are showcasing that we are the lowest cost energy supplier, renewable energy, that we are the most connected to the Europe, Africa, and Atlantic basin. We provide the lowest cost delivered energy supply, including to the UK. And also, we are a land of reconciliation where we can have investments in research and development in clean tech.
Minister, can you just update us also on the latest planned LNG import terminal?
All right. I mean, that's also a key part of our strategy, regional integration again. It's roughly $6 billion of capex that we are injecting in gas infrastructure, making it future-proof so that it can actually also make sure that we provide hydrogen and that we can transport hydrogen. Again, Morocco as the lowest cost hydrogen supplier, including to Europe. There's nothing that can beat pipelines when it comes to transporting molecules. And the purpose is to link it to $25 billion of capex to be invested in the what used to be called the Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline, now the African Atlantic gas pipeline, to get to Africa the molecules it deserves for its development.
So do you already have a specific timeline, actually, on when the terminal will be built, will be starting and finished, but also where the supplies will come from?
Yes, we are pushing ahead for the first entry point for LNG in Morocco in the Nador terminal. So we are really hoping that we will get a first molecule around between 26, 27. The key is already ready and all that. Second key point of entry will be on the Atlantic coast in Morocco, and we're hoping to link all this to Dakhla, which is a major a region for us with the great combination of great solar and wind capacity factors and potential emerging region for heavy, hard-to-abate industries as well.
And Minister, I mean, this is a huge project, something that I know is very close also to what the country wants to do. I mean, the LNG terminal is a regasification and also a storage, for example, for a floating storage. Is that part of it, or how big will the complex be?
So for now, it's the first entry point will be an FSRU or an FSU, so floating, definitely. A second entry point might be a and potentially will be a large regasification on land terminal. But the whole point, what I would want to insist on is this is very much preparing for flexibility in the future. We want to continue to have an agile and flexible strategy. So that's why we are pushing for a first entry point in Nador close to Europe, and making sure that we have access to the international energy LNG market that provides a lot of optionality. And to answer your second question, where the supplies will come from, well, that's another flexibility that the LNG market has provided compared to pipeline gas. It means you can get access to the international and LNG market.
So are there discussions ongoing now on when the supplies would come from, or is that for a later date? Because again,
we already have contracts already in place, because if you remember, back in October 2021, we were all gathered in Glasgow. This was like 4 months before the Russia-Ukraine war. I was the only one on stage saying, well, if you want us to invest in renewables, we need gas for intermittency. And at the time, we already started discussing, and we made sure that we had at least a 10-year contract, and making sure that we reverse the pipeline with Spain that we already have. We are the only African country interconnected with Europe logistically, culturally, but also gas-wise and electricity-wise and bidirectionally. So we made sure to reverse that gas pipeline to have access to the international LNG market back in 2022. So we already have contracts in place.
Minister, when you look at the energy transition plans for Morocco, are they been upended or moved around because of what we're seeing with tariffs and this new geopolitical order?
No, absolutely not. I mean, for us, this has been the case. We have 30 years of experience in attracting the international private finance. We have 30 years of experience in international energy, environmental and climate negotiations and diplomacy. So for us, it's very important that we stay the course. And if at the end of the day, with all the trade turbulence that is happening today, Morocco emerges as the last man standing, investing in the same energy strategy that it has since 2009, when it was launched by His Majesty, then so be it. It's music to my ears. My job will be done and mission accomplished.
Yes, but you need actually support from the region as well. So it's better if everybody works together, I guess, towards a unified transition.
That's where regional cooperation is a key part of our strategy, and that's why we make sure that with our partners, be it in Africa, Europe, the Atlantic Basin, and Asia, we try as much as possible to have win-win partnerships and a new generation of partnerships. If I take the example of China, that's a best case study where you have more than 70% of clean tech value chains being either localized or having secured equity assets in various parts of the world. So making sure that Morocco, that has more than 60 FTAs with various countries in the world, can concentrate some of that, I think, is key in the international cooperation.
Minister, I know you have to go back to Lancaster House, where there's this future of energy security summit that's being held by the IEA and the UK. What's your biggest hope in terms of actually achieving something concrete together?
Well, a few things. I mean, I think the first key, Morocco has always been an advocate of multilateralism and an advocate of international cooperation. But when we look at the history of, for example, we have more than 250 multilateral environment agreements and COPs. The key point here is to ensure that those multilateral and bilateral agreements are take into account a lot business opportunities, take into account the fact that we need to build synergies between those environmental agreements and climate agreements, and ensure that our energy strategies go hand in hand. So what I would want to see is a real redefinition of energy security, taking into account not only securing the molecules and electrons, that's a 70s mantra, but now moving to the 21st century and making sure that we secure assets and value chains and productive and consuming assets.
Thank you so much for all of your great insights. Leila Benali there, Morocco's Minister of Energy Transition and Sustainable Development.